so different from Monroe and Collier and Lee that is its own zone. But, you know, he lists stakeholders and people that are participating, especially on the technical committee, and you see all the universities except for FGCU. So I said, excuse me, don't you think they would kind of know what our, we didn't mean to leave them out. So it's so important to be at the table and not just rubber stamp what goes on up there, because, you know, we can get lost. So we'll talk about that. I really didn't have anything else. Mr. Gordon?
Just a question for Mr. Shamrock. That review we were talking about, so we're going into animal control. What do you think the timeline is on that? I had obviously been inundated.
We'll be ready to discuss it next week. We
Next
have
week.
something at that point.
Yeah, we're gonna have a review tomorrow, so I'll have it on for one-on-ones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a call from a TV reporter this morning while we were,
I did too, and I left her a voicemail.
right, and I told her exactly what she was reading to me, an email that Commissioner Deutsch had sent out, which I had seen, which is exactly right, you know, where we're at with that. So I said, I think it's not a non-story right now, honestly. You just have to wait till we come up with some animal control standards for that. I don't know, I guess it didn't work because then she probably called you after that. So.
Anything else?
Oh, that was it.
He was done.
Aren't you gonna go next?
No, just go.
Just wanna, I was thinking this weekend about our funding request for the Spring North project. And the thought occurred to me, we need to find out who actually has the Spring North, other than Ken Roberson. What senator has this area? Kelly and I talked.
I think it's Senator Dieter, looking at the map.
Dieter.
Yes.
So then we need to really focus on her to help us with this project. And you know, maybe go to Venice and see her, if that's what we have to do. Make sure she knows this inside and out, you know, and then, I'm not gonna go to FAC, but I talked to Rachel Kiesling before Christmas about, she's not gonna go to the city.
League of Cities.
League of Cities. So we're gonna go up together, probably the second week in session. And instead of being there with everybody when it's so busy, so anytime before that, you know, if, we'll have an idea from committees what's happening with our requests, if anything, and then, keep that in mind, if you need me to push it, you know, in our meetings right before that, you know, let me know if there's any changes or updates, if anything I could do.
And I was gonna say, I think I had earlier indicated I probably wasn't gonna go till I found out there's a consortium meeting the day before, so I figured I'm going up there anyway, I'm gonna stay there for the day and I'll be involved.
Mr. Duffy, I think that's a great idea that you're going up earlier than the legislative week. It is a zoo, you know, I mean, hard to get time with our representatives and so forth.
It's a
So
zoo every week.
Yeah, that's true, but
There's always some
I
group
was
up
more,
there.
I was more effective, that's true, they have their different weeks. And, but I did find it more effective going up earlier last year. I was up one other meeting, and Senator Dieter was very, very supportive of our water request last year. But I think that needs to be reinforced, that we still need all the help we can get on it.
Okay. The other thing, just an observation that I've noticed that we've had a few times in our meetings where, you know, we're in discussions and then one of us will say, I'd like more information on that, and, you know, I wanna know why this and why that, and or one of us may express our opinion about something, you know, and I sometimes listen and I don't say much, but I'm thinking about it, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with that, but then we don't always say, sometimes nobody says anything, so what happens then is, that one commissioner, that's what happens, you know, that, and I thought of an example, it wasn't a big deal, but it just is, you know, we have to remember that when we're asking staff to do something, in particular, it has to be three of us, instead of just one of us.
Well, well, then we'll probably have a lot more discussion on some items that, you know, certain ones of us really need more detail to make decisions. And I'm gonna ask for things, and if the board doesn't want that information, then I won't support it. Because until I get that information, well, that's what I'm hearing. So if you don't mean that, that's fine, but I think that if I've ever had something that I didn't agree with, that I didn't support, I would say, well, I really don't support that because of this. And we have a discussion about it. But I don't think we've ever just said, I mean, we have to speak up. If there's something that needs to be said, then let's say it. Let's have that conversation, because we don't make good decisions if we don't debate the issue, and that's why we did it.
And Commissioner Duffy, I don't want to speak for Ray, but usually the track record is, if one of us asks for something and it's easy, they're usually pretty helpful and they'll comply to get us the information and fill us all in. If it's something that he's gonna need head nods for, he'll make a point of
Yeah.
saying, do I have 3?
Correct. For instance, when you were going over the South County overlay, several of you were giving your opinions to make changes, but I didn't see anybody else. So had you kind of left that open, I would have come back to each one of those issues and said, no, Commissioner Constance brought this point up. Do others agree?
And that's a good example. That is something that happened today, and I can't remember what it was, that did happen. And it wasn't a big deal or anything I was really opposed to or in favor of, but I did see Sean saying, okay, we'll put that in there, or something, I forget his word.
We're making the changes.
And they're gonna make those changes, and it was only, I think you maybe
Well,
that
well,
said.
but no, I made a bunch of suggestions and referenced some things for discussion, but I
Right.
think I said, look, I'm not saying that's where we need to go, I just wanted to talk about it, and I think we stepped it back to something that was more manageable for them, and there was kind of a consensus going on. I just put it out there.
And let me just say, what I heard was, is they're gonna have a public meeting. Let's find out what we get back from the public meeting, and then we need to, so that's what, I hear what people are saying, but until I hear what the public, who's gonna get these notices and how it's going to affect them, I wanna hear what they have to say. And that may cause some items to be tweaked a little bit,
Mhm.
or removed, or whatever, but I just think that we need to hear from them, and then we need to go over it again.
And honestly, it's happened to me where I've been in a meeting upstairs with staff and I've said something and I've said, I thought we were doing this, and I was like, no, the other, I know our staff, it's hard for them because it's a situation because of sunshine law. But then I say, who decided that? And then they don't wanna say anything to me, they kinda look at me funny like, well, and I think, okay, somebody else decided that.
Well, but the thing is, you're not alone, because there have been plenty of times in meetings where I've said, well, so this is what we're doing, and they said, well, Commissioner, we didn't get head nods. I had to bring it back. I've had things I've had to bring back 2 and 3 times before we had enough understanding and direction, and questions got answered to the point where everybody was sort of like feeling better about, okay, let's do that, or it didn't go. I've had plenty of those too, so, and it's okay. It's okay to have an extra meeting to.
That's
I
what
was
the
gonna say,
comments.
we're not shy about,
No,
coming
they're
back
not.
to you, if you ask if you ask for some permit information, one of you did, we'll go back and get that. If it's significant and it's gonna take a lot of time and we only heard one person say, Ray and I really are not shy about going back to you and saying, Commissioner, you need to bring that up
Exactly.
to the rest of the commissioners under comments and see if we have board direction.
You've done that, recommended
We've done it many
several
times.
times with me, and that's what comments are for. And
Okay.
and that's why I try to
That's
keep
why I
my-
brought it up today.
Perfect, but that's
Yeah.
exactly what we do.
That's good, that clarifies it.
Anything else? Commissioner Borch?
Just a postscript on that. I think that there's been a time where every single one of us over the past several years has brought up an item. And I appreciate that, even though I may not agree with it. When we get the information, it's shared with all of us. And I'm sure every single one of us has done that on occasion, that we've identified an issue or asked for more information than shared. And frankly, I'm very comfortable with that process. With that being said, I'm going to have a little mini update under comments next Tuesday about WCIND. Just bring us up to date on some activities that are taking place with that. And also, yeah, I've had numerous contacts regarding the animal situation, and at this point, I'm comfortable to sit and wait till administration gets back to us. But what I think they do is they keep trying until they get somebody to respond back. And I did send out the email because I felt it was important that people understood where we're at and the process that happened. And in all fairness, we did what we thought was right. And, Fish and Wildlife, they sent to the state, and so it took time till it got back to us and we're addressing it.
Commissioner Butcher, I'm really glad you're gonna do that and that you're bringing that up. And, it occurred to me that a lot of the positions we have, we're liaisons. We go to the meetings, we listen in, we don't normally participate, and we should be coming back and giving little updates when they're important. I mean, you know, Commissioner Duffy sits on ANRAC, and sometimes there's stuff that she brings back and says, hey, I was at this meeting, and so if it's really relevant, she brings it up.
And you've done it with the water
Well,
authority.
here's the thing, with the Water Authority and with WCIND, those are actually intergovernmental bodies.
Mhm.
You represent this commission, you vote on things, and there's money involved. So just as we look over the agenda for the Water Authority, I think we need to look over the agenda for WCIND and kind of look and see what's going on before that happens, so that you can bring us up to date about what's going on, and then we can give you, so when you go back there, you say, hey, I'm voting with the full force of the Board of County Commissioners. This isn't Stephen R's opinion. This is, we've talked about this, and Charlotte County feels very strongly about putting money here or doing, and I think that puts you in a better situation, you or no matter who is representing the county, because we do that. And others, you know, and then if somebody says, well, that's not what I want to do, you can say, well, is that your county's opinion or is that your opinion? And your vote's going to carry, and your opinion's going to carry a lot more weight. So I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, that was my intention. I will say, over the past couple of years, I've been turning over rocks, and I keep thinking, gee, we ought to be getting more, and we ought to be getting more. And I think you'll notice over the past year or so, we've gotten $20,000 here, we've gotten $5,000 here. We just got approved again last meeting for another $20,000. And these are projects that I think, they're all eligible. And I'm not sure that we had been working, or we hadn't been getting as much, doing as well as we are now. And that's sort of kind of what I wanted to bring up today at the meeting, and talk about that and a couple other things.
And the other good thing is we can help you, because if you talk to us and we go over the agenda ahead of time, and there's something we really want to move on, you can't talk to anybody. But we can talk to the counterparts of those other members. We can even talk to those members that are on that committee that you serve with, because we're not violating sunshine. We can't vote. We're not talking to you, and you're not talking to them, but we can talk to them and say, look, we need to make sure you understand that this is Charlotte County's situation and we need your help. And then you walk in and all of a sudden, you've got the help that you need.
Yeah, but of course, we have to be careful, because if he brings it up and puts it on our agenda and we vote on what direction to give him, that could be a little
The
lazy.
daisy chain.
It's not daisy chaining, it's a
No,
public
you're
meeting.
doing it in
No,
in the
doing it in
That's-
public,
that's
and
a
then we're
public
saying,
meeting.
this is
That's
what we're
perfectly
gonna
legal.
do,
That
the
would be
public's
fine.
aware of, yeah.
Perfectly.
Can I just ask a quick question? Who's
Sure.
Who's on Beaches and Shores?
Keep it
Oh,
on.
you are? Okay. I know we're down a person, because I'm trying to find somebody, but I think I'm working on it. So I'm sorry, it's been a while. I'm trying to find that right person.
So it's from
From District 5, yeah. So I think I have somebody, but
I gave Diane a name for somebody for Parks and Rec. I don't know if you got a chance to
we
interview
do have
him.
somebody for Parks and Recs. We approved them, to the guy who's the president of Little League.
Fine.
I know he loves.
What's-
I can't
Tony?
think-
Augusta.
Lou Augusta. Has he come to the meetings?
He's made one, yes.
Are there any openings on that?
Not right now.
Okay.
I think we're okay.
I have nothing, so with no further business, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
I thought I was the only one who scored. I sent you an email.